appreciate the chance to be here and to be in an area that I've had the privilege to represent these last number of years. Back in Washington, D.C., we have a lot of debates. Some of them are partisan, some are not so partisan. We've had big arguments over what the best way is to improve the economy, debates over what kind of a stimulus package we ought to have, what it ought to include. But one thing upon which there was universal agreement was that if the federal government was going to make monies available in an approach to attempt to provide a jolt to the economy, the area where you got absolute agreement, Democrats, Republicans, conservative, liberals, it was on the question of infrastructure, traffic infrastructure, for a couple of reasons. One is that these are projects that have to be done at some point in time. There's no doubt that you need to do these sorts of things to strengthen our infrastructure, to improve our infrastructure, to improve the safety of our transportation systems. Secondly, because they have to be done at some point in time, they're not squeezing out the private sector. We're not using funds that otherwise would be used in the private sector in some way. What you're really doing is accelerating these projects, spending that money that you know has to be spent at some point in time. And so with all members of Congress, there was general agreement on that. And one of the things that we found when we had our cap-to-cap program, when the Secretary of Transportation came to appear before us in our bipartisan forum that we had there, was that Ray LaHood promised that California would not be left behind. Ray LaHood promised, the Secretary of Transportation, that California, because we got our act together better than other states, we were further along in overall regional planning, statewide planning, had our projects ready, even readier than some states, although he wouldn't admit readier than Illinois, his home state, that we would be at the front of the line, not the end of the line. And this is evidence of that fact. So I stand before here as a member of Congress, saying that I would believe that all members of Congress, Democrats and Republicans, Congressman Matt Seward, our two senators, would strongly support this idea that we could come together and agree that these kinds of projects make a great deal of sense. Our hats are off to SACOG for the work that they do and the regional effort, and to the city of Rancho Cordova for making sure that when the monies were available, they had done the kind of work that is necessary, the preparatory work, to ensure that they would participate. And for that, I'm grateful. I'm also grateful for this great weather. Coming back from Washington, D.C. with that humidity, I was willing to face the dry heat of my home area. And my golly, we got pleasant heat. This is the greatest weather you can have. And what we're doing, the last thing I'd say is this: I didn't know this project was going to help me on my way to church, but my path to church is from my home just over the other side of Sunrise down here to St. John Vianney, and thank you for making it a more pleasant and a safer drive. Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor.